Hey guys, welcome to DM's Craft. I'm DM Scotty, and this video I'm going to kind of go back to basics. We're going to do a tile. It's going to be in a regular shaped tile, but I'm going to do something interesting to the tile that you may not have thought about as a possibility for doing for the tiles. So I want to show you that this episode, and let's get crafted. Here's my piece of cardboard, and I'm going to draw out the layer. So I've got the entrance here. Okay, now I'm going to measure. I have a hallway piece, so I'm going to measure the end here. So there we go. There's the piece. So I'm going to cut that out like a standard tile, and then I'll show you what we do next. So here I've cut out my tile with my X-Acto knife, or my razor knife, and you can see it's a standard, a regular tile. But my goal here is to make a multi-layered tile. So I'm going to have areas on the tile that are higher than other areas. And you could make other tiles that you just say are connected to this tile that you say are higher, but I want actually to be like kind of like shelves in this tile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot this over, and I'm going to trace the edge. So I'll trace that. So now what I want to do is I want to make a part that will be connected to this tile. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of go out, and this is like a ledge. Now that's where the tile was, so I'm kind of gonna go in and do that. So now I'll cut that out and show you how that works. Okay, so here we go. I've got my tile, and then I've got this edge of the tile. So you'll see that I'll skip this out of this so it'll be easier to see. So this piece will go on top of the irregular tile like this. I'll glue it, and see how it's hot. It'll be higher than the base of the tile. So what I'm going to say is that you could have this whatever height you want on the tile. I was going to say it was like 5 feet up. So, and this is going to be part of the mite layer, so there's going to be roots and everything. So basically the mites like scramble up these ledges with the roots. And players can pretty easily climb them too, but it's a little bit of a slowdown as far as like climbing. The PCs have to climb it, so it's a double movement. Plus, if there are mites up there, they're going to smack them with opportunity attacks as they try to climb up. So it can make the situation interesting. Now what I'm also going to do is I want to do another ledge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece that I just cut for the tile, and I'm going to grab my box again. And what I'll do is, let's get so you can see here, I'm going to trace this again. So now what I'll do is I will draw it out. And then I'm going to do a little bit of overlap. So this will overlap this one. Now I'll cut this one out, and I'll kind of show you what's going on there. All right, so here's my base tile again. Now I've got the one shelf that kind of goes like this. Now it's a little confusing because I've got this line here. This is where the edge of the tile was, and I drew this extra part so it would overlap on the tile. And then I've got another piece that will go on top of this. So see the effect that I'm getting? It's several layers up. So there's a shelf here and there's a shelf here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I wanted to have it double, so when the players try to come through here, there's gonna be this area that they have to fight their way up or defend against, like running a gauntlet. So what I'll do is I will cut the other side, and then I'll glue all these on. So here we go. I've got my pieces set. So I've got each side of this tile ready to go. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm gonna glue these all on. So I'll start with the inner ones first. And I'll get my trusty glue gun. Hold it down for a sec, and you're good to go. Do this one. Okay, so I've got all my pieces on there. I'm going to trim a little bit. Okay, so now I've got all my pieces, but I have a problem. Normally when I cut out the irregular shaped tile, I would cut out the edges, but since I changed the shape of the tile, I can no longer do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll need to trace some new lines. So I'll do that now. So I'll just take my tile, turn it upside down, put it on the cardboard, and then I'm going to trace around it. So that'll be my first edge. Okay, so I got that. So now I'll do my second one. So now I'll trace it, draw the width. So now what I'll do is I'll cut these out and then we'll attach them to the tile. So the problem with this kind of tile is getting the edging on because there are separate tiers on the tile. Now I've already done this side, and I'll show you how to do this side. So you can't really glue it on like this because it'll look weird going up and down on these edges. So what I do is I will measure with the piece, and I'll just eyeball it, and I'll trim it. So what I'll do is I will glue the edging here, and I've just got like a little piece of the edging, and I'll put it on there. Now that's sticking off the end, but I'll just trim that later. And it's never going to quite, when you cut the edging, sometimes it gets a little wonky. It never quite ends up right. So you may have to trim some, so we'll keep that in mind. So there we go. So now we will do the next part. So I will measure from there to the next side. Some hot glue in there. And there we go. Got that. So now I need to put this on there. Now as you can see, it doesn't quite fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in the center. That way I'll be able to adjust it. But I need to know how far I need to glue to. So I'll go from there, there, and I'll mark it there so I know how far to glue. Okay. There we go. So now, see, that's not quite right, so I'll cut a little bit of that off. And that lines up much better. So now I need to go to the end of this ledge here, so I'll trim that. Like that. And put some glue on there. This is basically just like doing a regular tile. You're just cutting at the separate layers. So now I'll mark there. And I will cut my edging. There we go. And going off the tile like that. And don't worry if you got some gaps, you can always fill it in with the hot glue. Which you invariably will with your regular tiles. Okay. So you notice this tile kind of wants to bow a little bit. What you can do is you can kind of just bend it a little bit. You can always do that with any other tiles too, if they're trying to bow. That'll help flatten it out. You could also put cardboard underneath each of these shells, but I never really do. I don't really think you need to. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just trim these edges off. So now I've got my entrances and exit. I got the shelves in here. And then I'll just do what I do for every irregular tile. I'll get my glue gun, and I'm going to fill in little areas here. But I will put some glue on there and then just kind of smear it. That just kind of gives some texture to the wall areas. So. Now with these types of tiles, where stuff hangs over a lot, it's a good idea to kind of reinforce it. So I'm on the back side, and I'm going to take my glue gun and run along the edge of the shelves so that they're nice and on there. and then just go over the whole tile and do that. That just makes them extra secure. So, here we go. So now I've got all my edging done. You can see on there. Now I'm going to have a couple of pillars in the center of the room. Basically, they're like big clumps of roots that have come up and are holding the ceiling up. So I'm going to mark the floor approximately where those are going to be. Because I want to do a root system like I do in all my mite layers. So I'll just start putting in the roots like I've shown in the other video. All right, so I think I've got all my roots on there, and there we go. That's what it looks like. Another feature I'm going to have on this tile is I'm going to have these small tunnels that mites come out of, and basically it's a continuous stream of mites. It'd be very difficult for the players to go down those tunnels because they're going to be very small tunnels, just a few feet wide. So basically players won't even be able to fit in those tunnels. All my players are regular size. They're no small characters. So it'd be virtually impossible for them to go back down, but mites will continue to pour out. So I could simulate that by cutting a hole in the tile like I've done before, but I think since they're small holes, I'm going to kind of do a technique by using the glue gun. So what I want to do is I want to mark on the tile where the holes are. So I'll mark here. I'll mark here. And I'm just going to have I'm going to have 3 holes on this one here, and on this one I'll do 2. It's small. So yeah, it'll be pretty difficult for the players to go down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the glue gun to simulate that. So I will put it on the hole and just kind of drag back and forth. And then what I'll do is I will paint that in to make it really stand out. So right now can't really see it very well, but I'll just back and forth. Okay, so I'll show you that close up. So there you can kind of see the glue gun there. So, okay, so now I'll do the others. So just a little bit of glue and some paint, and these will be very convincing mite holes. All right, so I've got those done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this tile. I'll base paint it black and do the dirt texture, and then we'll finish it off.